All right, today we're back at the Autobot Arc, and we're going to take a look today at the Transformers Robots in Disguise minicons, and we're going to look at the two Decepticon minicons from the Wave 2. So you can see right here we have the initial deployer and the Autobot minicon, and then the two other minicons that come with that come separately for $4.99 for the first wave. Then we have Razor and his little guy right here. They come together as a deployer pack, and we're going to take a look at the other two Decepticon minicons that can go with Razor, and he can deploy them. Again, as I mentioned last time, remember the Autobot minicons, when you fold them together, they are all circles. Okay, so they all fold together as little discs like this, kind of like the data discs from the Cybertron series we got a few years ago, the War for Cybertron. However, with the Decepticons, they all fold in and give you more of this little cruiser or this little wedge looking shape. So you can only use one faction with that faction's deployer. So only Autobots with Drift, only other guys with Razor. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. First one we're going to look at today is Dive Bomb. And again, as I mentioned last time, what's great is all of these guys are separate molds. So far in Wave 1, there are 6 different minicons, and there are 6 different molds, which is great. So that's pretty cool. So you can see here, he's got some green translucent. He is actually going to be purple, and his little parts are green. You can open the sides of this package and slide them out this way if you don't want to rip open the package. I always like to box them up and keep them, even though I'll probably never look at them again. But that's just the way it is. And you see here him again. I've already pulled him off for ease, so he's gone. And you can put him back on, and he holds all these little pieces. Now what's nice, and I've mentioned this before, is the little pieces, when you put them all on, if you have them correctly assembled, when you push them together to make the wedge for the deployer, all these pieces move in the right place where they can all stay on him, so you don't have to take them off or anything like that. So like a lot of the Transformers today, either for these in his robot mode or the alt mode, he can still hold all of his weapons. Alright, so let's take a look at Dive Bomb. So again, you can see here he's in his little wedge. There's nothing else to do. You can see he's pretty much like this kind of a dark pink and purple. They mesh well together. Like most of the minicons, he is very I don't know, open in the back. You can see a lot of surfaces there that just aren't filled in to save money for plastics. That's just the way that it is. So you're really going to want to be looking at him from the front. Again, with all these, to transform them, you just pull them outward. That's it. For this guy, he has one more transformation. You move his feet up, and then that is him. Let's go down a little bit here, and we will take a look at him a little closer. So again, you can see we have some nice articulation. Also, like the others, there's a lot of red shown on him in the packaging. But when you look at him regular, you can see the only red is really on his eyes. He doesn't have any red here. He's got the little mold piece for it. He could put him on his leg. But that's really about it. They have a little bit, you can see it kind of shows him having this red look right here and looking really sleek. But obviously when you put them together, he's not that sleek looking. He's a lot more open, and a lot of, you can see my hand through it and all that. Anyway, so that's this guy. And let's take a look at all of his weapons. So like I said, I pulled him off beforehand, and he has got a ton of weapons. All these guys have 6 or so weapons, which is pretty cool. It's neat to be able to see them have a bunch of stuff on them. Alright, so also when you look at these, you can hold them in different places. For the gun, he can hold them in his hands, but if you push them together, the hands cannot hold the weapon this way, because they have to go under. They do, but it's tight. So you can either keep them in the hand when you move him in, or you can put them underneath like this, back like that. But let's go ahead and put them all together first. Remember, all these have different little wedges. So like the shape right here of this little guy is going to be different than any other shape on him. It can only go in one place. So it goes for his leg. Oops, wrong way. Let's get this right here. Okay, so we're putting those in his legs. And this guy has actually a movable piece. You have to put these two pieces together. This is a faceplate and a chest guard. So this chest guard, the whole thing just snaps right in here. You can see this, oops, you can see the two little holes on both sides here. That's just where this guy goes. And then the faceplate is on a little hinge, and that's because when you transform him, you need to be able to pull this down so it fits together. So there you go. You got this in here. Let's see. You got these big old pieces here. They go on the back, stick out like this. Now this is actually the center for the bonus figure that the 4 guys from this wave 1 make together, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, and then he's got his guns, so we can hold his guns out here off to the side like this to make sure he will be able to transform. All right, so there you go. That is him. You can see he holds everything quite well. Now let's move the face mask up, fold it over like this, and now you can push him all together and bring his feet together. And that is him in his deployer mode. This piece comes off. It just seems to do that. And let's bring Razor here now. And if you go ahead and stick him in there, there you go. You can see he fits perfectly inside. Move this up a little so you can get a better view. Fits perfectly. If you want to go ahead and deploy him. Oh, it hit my hand. It always does that. You know, I think adults are just a little bit too big for these because this always gotta have your hand out of the way, and I never do. All right. There you go. I don't know if you saw it in the film, but he completely shot across. Great. So he works good. All right, so let's move to the other guy now, and then we'll build the bonus figure. So what we need to take off of, Dive Bomb is we are going to need these 2 pieces. They're really funky, wobbly pieces, and you know they look better on the new character than they do on the old one because they're huge and they're kind of weird shaped things. All right, so let's move that off to the side, and we'll bring in Dragonus. Now Dragonus obviously is a dragon, which is pretty cool. He opens up. Again, let's bring him here. Here he is in his state where he's just going to take a, you know, he's going to be thrown around or whatever. So that's that. And this guy I do like because he's got much more of a shell look to him. You don't see everything behind him as much as you do with some of the other guys. So I really do like that. Again, you can see here's a little triangle here. There's some ports here. You can see here on the side, there's another piece here and another piece here. And that's where you'll be sticking all this stuff. You can see his tail and his legs underneath. But I really do like this guy. This guy's actually got a pretty cool transformation. Again, you know, they show him with Razor, and you show him with this pink outline and these other pink paint apps. There are no paint apps on any of these guys, just the way that is. So you look back here, you can see that this is purple, so he's going to have purple pieces. Whereas the guy we just did, Dive Bomb, he was purple with bright green. This guy is bright green with purple. So it's a little bit the opposite. And then if we bring it down here, you can see kind of what he's going to look like in his dragon mode. So let's, without further ado, let's do that. All right. So like all the others, just pull them apart. This guy's pretty big. His wings are one solid piece. So you do that. And then the last thing to do is go ahead and flip the tail up. Again, there's no paint apps anywhere except for the face. And the face, you can see he kind of looks like a dragon. He's got this kind of a goldish brown colored painted face. This the golden brown wedges right here are pieces. These are plastic. I mean, not obviously they're plastic. They're not painted. They're colored plastic. But the head is painted. So he's got a pretty cool look to him. You can see the feet down there. So he fits, you know, he goes pretty well. You can't really move the tail up anymore, which there's no reason you couldn't do that. I wish you could move the tail up so you could have some posability. But if there's my biggest knock with this series, it is the posability. Because it's none. There's none. It's lacking. All right, so we bring in all of his other pieces. Again, we'll move this down for this. Okay, so these are guns, but if you look, they also kind of look like a leg. So these are the legs of the bonus figure. So let's go ahead and put this guy together. He's got this pretty cool little gun. It goes right here in this little triangle. Now, it would have been nice if the gun could have had like a little rotate right here, or a swivel, so it could have gone up and down, but nope, not so much. Now, he has feet here, but you can put in these claws, which is kind of a neat little touch. And I do like this guy. This guy might be one of my favorites. Look at that. So, and I really like the wolf as well. These are kind of maybe my two favorite guys. For some reason, I'm digging the animals in this series. I'm not sure why. Anyway, so here you got the little claws. So I really like that. And then we've got some wings here that we're going to stick out. Now, the only problem I have is these wings don't stand very well. So if you plop him down kind of hard, the wings are just going to fall out. That one fell out right when I even put it in. This one fell out in my hand. Remember, it's just pushing plastic into plastic, so it's not like a locking mechanism or anything like that. All right, so he does have this, which is a very cool dragon head. Goes in that massive hole above his head, so that's pretty cool. And then you got these other two massive pieces, and they just kind of stick off to the side. Let's see. So they have a little L piece here. And, oops. There we go. Put the other one in. Let me put his wing back on, because it always falls off. There we go. So here he is. So he looks pretty decked out. I'm a big fan of this guy because a lot of the pieces you're putting on him are not just random junk sitting on him, but they are actually parts of him. Like you have the head mount, you have a gun, you have the claws. A lot of these other guys, they have other things that are just kind of sit there. So for like Dive Bomb, I'm not a huge fan of his because his just kind of seem, some of them are like these guys on his legs. I'm not sure really what their purpose is. They're just kind of sit there. If I was him, they would annoy me because they stick way out. But obviously I do like his little mask that he can wear like that. So this, and see, these both fell out just setting them down, so we're going to move those off to the side. But anyway, so this is Dragonus. So now let's look at the bonus figure. So I have these pieces already pulled off. These are from the Autobots. And you know what, let's put this here underneath. Just because some of this plastic is so translucent, it is difficult to see. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to pull this off from the other guy. Let me turn the brightness down just a tad. And we're going to pull off the legs for this guy. Okay, so it's pretty easy. These two green pieces, you can see they're the same size, mirror images, stick them together. Now, one thing you want to do is, if you look, when you put them together, these two pieces right here at the top look like they do not match up. And that is correct. They're not supposed to match up. You look at the head, and the head has an opening. Oops. All right, let's put the rest of it together first. This piece right here, this has an opening. That is this weird shape. And you flip it around until it gets to the right way. Let's see. Let's put the head on first. So the head is simply, you make this nice little flat piece that sticks in the head. Now, you can pick which one you think are bigger. I think the pink ones are bigger than the yellow, which for me, the pink would then go on the back of the legs, which is going to be this guy. Okay, so we stick that piece in there, and then you can go ahead and put these legs in. You can see that it has a peg right here and a hole. It's pretty straightforward, not too hard to see. Same thing here up the front. And I do like that. It's pretty cool. You got this little extra guy. And I don't have any problem doing the extra guy and keeping him like this because the other pieces are a little out of place on the other guys. So they're not, he doesn't look lacking because I took those off. He maybe does because they were off to the side, but Dragonus is still pretty cool anyway. So let's get one big old montage of all of all of the mini-cons. So these are all of the mini-cons from the Wave 1, and this includes the ones that come with the deployers themselves. So you got quite a bunch of little dudes. And it's pretty fun to get them all and collect them all, because although they don't do that much, they really do kind of, yeah, I mean, they're mini-cons. How can you not want to keep mini-cons? Hasbro knows this. That's why they went and brought them back again, because everybody loves a good mini-con. So that's them. If you have any questions or anything, shoot me an email. Go ahead and, put a post up there. I'll be happy to answer. Again, these guys are great. $4.99. It's really the only thing so far I've gotten out of the Robots Disguise series. But they're well worth it. And I will go after Wave 2 now that I actually hear they're out. All right, thanks a lot. Have a great day.